Hello and welcome to another edition of Communication Connection. I'm your host, Terry Likes. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, another academic year is underway. So many exciting things are happening on campus, and one of those happens to be with MSU Theater. An exciting slate of plays coming up this fall and spring semesters, and here to talk with us about that and much more is senior MSU Theater student Cameron Mayer. Cameron, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Likes.
Well, you've been highly involved on campus in theater and in other areas, and we'll talk about those. But tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from and what brought you to Mississippi State?
Yes, sir. So I'm originally from Pearl High School, a proud alum of 2020. Really just kind of really wanting to stay home in the state, seeing all the different opportunities that our state offers and just seeing a better future for Mississippi in general and just wanting to heighten in on that. So Mississippi State was the best option for me for furthering my education. Wanted to just see a better growth and change in our state for years to come.
Well, you've made a real difference in the time that you've been here. So let's talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get to the fun stuff of talking about what's going on in theater this year. In addition to your work with theater, you are a Bill Gates Scholar, and you serve as the Deputy Chief of Staff for the MSU Student Association. So you enjoy being involved, and you enjoy trying to make a difference.
Yes, sir. I'm blessed to say that I am Deputy Chief of Staff of the Student Association. My role specifically is just seeing freshman success and leading them on a successful track during this transitional year from high school to college. I'd say that's really just my most favorite role that I have in Deputy Chief of Staff, just seeing the future of the university and not only the future of our state being molded in such a pivotal year for them is really exciting, and also seeing their leadership development growing from students that are probably shy, don't really know which way they're going into college, and then by the end of their transition from freshman reach, seeing well-developed leaders ready to take on our university into a new way.
And an important focus for you has been with diversity, equity, and inclusion, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. Seeing that has kind of been my targeted and passionate goal throughout the university. I probably discovered it the end of my freshman year, seeing the way how diversity and inclusion can make our university better in a sense, and making our organizations better, our departments better, really just brings everything together in a sense of we pride ourselves on being a diverse and inclusive university. I think we are probably the most diverse university in our state, but also seeing that we have a way to go and trying to help that as much as possible.
And there's some data to support that we're the most diverse university in the SEC too. So
yes, sir.
Certainly great things happening here. Now, one would think that you being involved so heavily in theater, that might be a career goal, but you have something completely different in mind, don't you?
Yes, sir. I think I may be the only major that isn't pursuing theater after my collegiate career. I'm actually planning on going to law school after undergrad. I've already taken my LSAT, have a pretty good score on that, so hopefully that makes it high enough to get to my dream college, which is either the University of Ole Miss, unfortunately, or Penn State University as well.
Okay, well, great institutions, and congratulations on your high score. Certainly admirable goal, and there are probably some who would say that being in a courtroom certainly has elements of theatrical performance as well, so your studies here should bode well for you. So let's talk a little bit about TheatreMSU and what's coming up this year. The TheatreMSU has long had a mission of serving youth audiences in this part of the state, and they are unveiling a program called The Light Princess. Should be a lot of fun for the busloads of students who will be coming in, and for many of them it's the chance to see a play for the very first time. So talk to us about The Light Princess and the impact it has on our youth.
Absolutely. One of the things that I really enjoy about our program is we do start every season with a children's show, kind of just like getting in, engaging what their audience is. And also, just like you mentioned, this is a lot of kids' first opportunity seeing a live theatrical performance. So just getting them excited, seeing a different realm of the arts that they probably have never been accustomed to before, and just also seeing their reactions to it as well. I think with The Light Princess and what our goals were this year is we're actually partnering with a local organization on campus to bring students that are fostered and in the system to kind of bring them out to enjoy that, because you may not get those opportunities being in that sort of system, but just giving the opportunity to them, seeing their excitement from it is really just a great opportunity that our program is doing as well.
And you mentioned the fostering element, and it's very important, and I appreciate what the faculty and students are trying to achieve in reaching out and making sure that we reach different audiences. I remember a student, a young student from several years ago saying, "This is the first time I've ever been to a live movie." And I just always remembered that reaction, the young person's first chance to see a play, and different compared to a movie from their regular perspectives. So The Light Princess sounds like it'll be a lot of fun for the youth. Transitioning to later in the semester, everyone, or most everyone, has seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life, the classic Jimmy Stewart, Donna Reed from 1946, and it's still relevant today. Everyone enjoys it at the holidays. So TheatreMSU is performing It's a Wonderful Life, the radio play. So slightly different, but based on that theme. Tell us more about that and the involvement here.
Yes, sir. That's being directed by Paula Mabry, which is a great alum and a great character in our program. We absolutely love her. But it's great that we're doing the radio version, seeing as it's kind of somewhat different than the regular stage version, but also has its own unique flair to it. I think our program really chose that specifically because it does have that unique flair to it as well, and just because Paula saw the greatness in that unique flair, and obviously the cast that she could potentially be having in would be the best option for that.
And you mentioned Paula. She's been heavily involved in local theater and in high school theater and is a lecturer on campus, and we are certainly thrilled of all of the contributions that she makes and teaches courses like voice and articulation and acting. So we're thrilled with her contributions and look forward to seeing that one because that will be fun.
Yes, sir.
Now, something else that you were involved with, and it seems like quite a long time ago, but Ann and Emmett, 2 years ago during the height of COVID, and you played a starring role in that, and we have been asked to bring that one back. In the height of COVID, we were wearing masks at that time, and I actually watched it virtually. I remember that at the time. So, but we've been asked by a group in Birmingham to bring Ann and Emmett to Birmingham, and Tanya Hayes will direct that. You will reprise your role. Tell us about Ann and Emmett. We know that it is the imaginary conversation between Emmett Till and Anne Frank. So it has some very educational purposes to it, and it will enlighten a lot of people who might not be as well versed in history as well as other things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think it's blessed that I was able to be in this role starting off as a freshman at the university in the height of COVID and in the height of our political climate of the country at the time. It was a very important topic that I was, again, just blessed to be a part of, and again, very grateful for the Jewish Foundation of Birmingham to reach out to us saying, can you reprise this for another audience again at a time? Really, I just think, obviously, me having a connection to Mississippi, me knowing the story of Anne Frank and Emmett Till growing up, I think it's something that audiences, specifically young audiences, college audiences, and older audiences should be reminded of, given the climate of our country and the climate of our world, specifically at this time. Just knowing that history should always be remembered, and just kind of really motto of World War II that we should never forget those times, and we should always remember history, the good and the bad, knowing that we shouldn't do this in the future, and to always pay respect to our past as well.
Very good point. And what can we learn from our history so we don't repeat? That's for sure. So it has to be inciting for you to be able to go on the road and perform this for a different audience. Are you having to relearn many of the lines since it's been 2 years, or is it still fresh in your memory?
I'd say it never really left. Okay. I'd say a lot of people on campus or just in the Starkville community will come up to me either on campus or at a store saying, hey, were you Ann, or I mean actually Emmett, a couple years ago? And I say, yeah, it's been a while, but I haven't really thought about it that much. And they're just like, oh, I wish I could have seen it back then. And I usually still have like the Vimeo version that I send it out to them. But it's great that it's always still in people's memories, knowing that the impact that we had for this show. And I'm just grateful for our department and our university giving us the opportunity to perform a show this early, and also just during the height of COVID as well, with all the restrictions, and still having a great impact.
And you had to do some unique research for that role as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So randomly, well, actually, during one of our early rehearsals, Paul Ruff, who plays Otto Frank and is reprising Otto Frank as well, mentioned in one of our rehearsals saying, wouldn't it be an interesting trip if we took a trip to Muddy, Mississippi and kind of just like got that history engaged with us? And we kind of laughed it off, not really thinking he was serious, but one Saturday morning, I just thought maybe I should go. So I took the trip up there, kind of really going to the landmarks, seeing the original store, seeing the barn where Emmett unfortunately had his last moments, and obviously seeing the river where Emmett's body was taken, and really just paying respect to history, and also knowing that this trip made me a better actor, not only in the sense of a role, but also just a better actor in the sense of taking history and implementing it into any role that I am in playing a historical figure such as him.
So it sounds like 3 great performances for this fall semester. TheatreMSU's had a real role in taking on performances that deal with social injustice, and yet in the spring, going more traditional and bringing back Shakespeare's Macbeth. That'll be something new for many students as well.
Yes, sir. I'm not really much well-versed in Shakespeare. We didn't really have that opportunity back in high school, but obviously I know the great benefits of having that. I think it's a great opportunity for our department to kind of really just go back into the classics, since this is a genre that many of our students nowadays have never been well-versed in.
One of the things I know that it's been an emphasis for the theater faculty in recent years has been to be able to empower students and student-directed performances, student-created performances. Tell us about that emphasis as part of the program.
Absolutely. Our faculty is really good on having student-led performances and student-directed performances as well. I think they really trust us in knowing that many of us want to pursue this as a potential career goal or career field in a sense. So giving us every opportunity to kind of delve into the world of theater as much as we can. And really, most of our student-directed performances are one of our most popular. So I forget the name of the show that we did last year.
All-American Boys was
yes,
one
sir.
of them.
All-American
Yes.
Boys was something that people still talk to this day, which was a student-directed performance, another social justice play, but it was really the height of a student in our department really just wanting to impact and just delve more into the social justice aspect, seeing that area of life and just giving more students opportunities to see that aspect in that world.
Well, with an exciting list of performances, everyone can go to our website as far as how to find ticket availability, and if they have any questions about performances, you can connect with TheatreMSU. Again, Tanya Hayes, Matt Webb, Jesse Wade, and Melanie Harris all involved. Their bios and contact information is also on the website if you have questions about those. So Cameron Mayer has been our guest. Cameron, thank you so much for joining us here on Communication Connection. You've got an exciting future, and we really appreciate you joining us here and talking about all things MSU theater. So thank you. We wish you the best, and we thank you for watching us here on Communication Connection. I'm Terry Likes. We look forward to seeing you next time.